All right, let's dive in. We all know Elon Musk for his cars, his rockets, his social media platform, but what's the one big idea connecting it all? Well, in this explainer, we're going to distill his core philosophy for the future, and it all comes from one single fundamental question he's been asking himself for decades.
And this quote, it's the key to everything. You see, for him, it's not just about building cool companies. It's a search for something deeper, a quest to find the questions we haven't even thought of yet. This fundamental curiosity is the engine that drives pretty much everything he does.
So, you've got to be wondering, how in the world do you get from the meaning of life to an app on your phone? I know, it sounds like a crazy leap, right? But for Musk, it's actually a very logical first step. Here's how a platform like X connects to his biggest ambitions for all of humanity.
To really get Musk's vision, we have to stop seeing X as just a digital town square. We need to see it as the foundation for something way, way bigger. The first step toward a collective consciousness.
So what does he mean by collective consciousness? Well, it's not just about sharing memes and hot takes. Imagine an information system that connects every single human in every language, all in real time. With automatic translation breaking down all the barriers, you'd get this single global tapestry of human thought. But to what end? What's the point of connecting us all so tightly?
And this is the end game. This is the whole point. Think about it. One person can't build a spaceship or figure out the universe on their own. But a collective, interconnected human consciousness, well, that might just be powerful enough to finally understand the nature of reality itself. So, how does this digital connection start to change our physical world?
Okay, so we've connected humanity digitally. What's next? The next step is completely transforming our physical world with AI and robotics. And Musk isn't just talking about a little help here and there. He's talking about a future of total, mind-blowing abundance.
This leads to the obvious question, right? If machines can build, think, and create better and faster than any of us, what does that mean for our jobs, for our economy, for our purpose? Well, Musk has a pretty stunning prediction.
And get this, look at the timeline here. He's not talking about some far-off science fiction future. He predicts that in less than 20 years, AI and robotics are going to make work completely optional. It'll be more like a hobby, something you do for fun, not because you have to survive.
Okay, so if nobody has to work, how does society even function? You've probably heard the term universal basic income, or UBI. But Musk takes it a step further. He talks about universal high income. This isn't just about getting by, it's a state of radical abundance, where there are virtually no material constraints on anyone.
This is the end goal, a world where AI and robotics can create any good or service you could possibly want, on demand. A world completely redefined by the fact that scarcity is gone. But if everything is abundant, what happens to the one thing that our entire modern economy is built on?
Exactly. What happens to money? I mean, if you can have anything you want, the whole concept of money just kind of falls apart, doesn't it? So what, if anything, takes its place?
Musk's argument is that money isn't really power. It's just an information system, a database for allocating human labor. $1 trillion is totally useless on a desert island, right? Because there's no labor to allocate it to. So in a future where robots do all the work, that database becomes obsolete. So if money vanishes, what has real, fundamental value? For Musk, the answer is simple: energy. You can't just print more of it. You can't legislate it into existence. It's governed by the laws of physics, and you absolutely need it to do, well, anything useful. He even uses a specific framework to measure a civilization's progress based on this very idea. This is the Kardashev scale. It basically just classifies civilizations by how much energy they can command. Becoming a Type 1 civilization, one that can harness all the energy of its home planet, is a huge milestone. For Musk, this is the true measure of progress, becoming better and better at harnessing energy to shape our own destiny.
Okay, so we've connected all of humanity. We've automated all labor. We've even redefined currency. Now for the really big one. What if this reality we're trying so hard to understand isn't actually real at all?
Musk's argument here is actually surprisingly simple. Just look at video games. 50 years ago, we had Pong, 2 rectangles and a dot. Now, we have these massive, photorealistic online worlds with millions of people playing at once. If you just follow that trend forward, it seems totally inevitable that we'll eventually create simulations that are completely indistinguishable from reality.
And that brings us to the big, mind-bending question.
If there will eventually be billions of simulated realities and only one base reality, what are the odds that we just happen to be in the original one?
And there's his answer. When asked point blank what he thinks the probability is, he just says, probably pretty high. It's a wild idea for sure, but it ties directly back to his original goal, his original question. Okay, let's tie this all together. The collective consciousness, a post-work society, even the simulation hypothesis. What's the ultimate point of it all? Why pursue any of these things?
Well, Musk often references The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where a giant supercomputer figures out that the answer to life, the universe, and everything is 42. The only problem is nobody knows what the actual question was. For Musk, this is humanity's central challenge.
The whole purpose of building a collective consciousness, of freeing humanity from labor, of exploring the cosmos, is to make us smart enough to finally figure out the right questions to ask. The answer is all around us. It's the universe itself. We just don't know the question yet.
And that right there is the absolute core of his philosophy. All this technology, all this ambition, it isn't about finding an answer. It's about evolving our consciousness to the point where we can finally comprehend the question.
So we end up right back where we started, but with a whole new way of looking at it. The goal isn't just to understand the universe, but to understand why the universe exists in the first place. And that leaves us with one last provocative thought to chew on. What question is our entire reality the answer to?